Imagine you're running one of America's most sensitive military bases, home to nuclear missiles, top-secret drone technology, classified intelligence operations. Now imagine a Chinese-owned company quietly buys land right next door. Not a mile away, not 5 miles. Right next door. This isn't a hypothetical. It's happening right now across the United States, and most Americans have no idea. Today we're breaking down exactly what's going on, why the U.S. government is alarmed, and what they're doing about it. Let's start in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Population 60,000, flat prairies, and one of the most strategically important Air Force bases in the country. In 2022, a Chinese agribusiness company called Fufeng Group bought roughly 370 acres of land just 12 miles from Grand Forks Air Force Base. The cover story? They wanted to build a $700 million corn mill. But here's the thing about Grand Forks AFB. It's not your average base. It's described by the U.S. Air Force itself as the center of military activities related to both air and space operations. It houses top-tier drone technology, intelligence and surveillance systems, and a space networking center. When the Air Force found out about the Fufeng purchase assistant, Secretary of the Air Force Andrew Hunter sent a letter to North Dakota senators calling the project, and I am quoting directly here, a significant threat to national security. The city of Grand Forks voted unanimously to block it. Permits denied. Infrastructure access denied. Development agreements terminated. But here's the kicker. Fufeng still owns the land, because the federal review body, CFIUS, said it technically lacked the jurisdiction to force a sale. The corn mill is dead, but the land? Still Chinese-owned. Now let us talk about a case that's even more alarming, one involving America's nuclear arsenal. Francis E. Warren Air Force Base in Cheyenne, Wyoming, is home to Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missiles. This is part of America's nuclear triad, the backbone of the country's nuclear deterrence strategy. In 2022, a company called Mine One Partners, majority owned by Chinese nationals, quietly purchased land less than 1 mile from this base. They built a cryptocurrency mining operation there filled with high-density foreign-source computing hardware. They never notified the government. CFIUS found out through a public tip. When investigators looked closer, they found what they called specialized, foreign-sourced equipment potentially capable of facilitating surveillance and espionage activities. Microsoft, which operates a nearby data center handling Pentagon workloads, privately warned the government that the facility could enable, in their words, full-spectrum intelligence collection against both the data center and the missile base. In May 2024, President Biden issued a rare executive order. Shut it down. Sell the land. Remove all the equipment. Within 90 days. It was the first time in U.S. history a president had ordered a Chinese-owned crypto mine near a nuclear base to be dismantled. Here's what makes this more than just 2 isolated incidents. It's a pattern. According to investigations using USDA foreign ownership data, Chinese-linked entities own land near at least 19 U.S. military bases across the country. In Val Verde County, Texas, a Chinese-backed wind farm sits under the low-level military training flight routes used by Laughlin Air Force Base. Officials worry the a Chinese-backed wind farm sits under the low-level military training flight routes used by Laughlin Air Force Base. Officials worry the 100,000-plus acre project could spy on aircraft, disrupt training routes, and critically, give Beijing a foothold in the Texas power grid. Near Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana, home to nuclear-capable bombers, 2 golf courses, just 2 miles from the base, are owned by a Chinese-American businessman with documented ties to Chinese state bodies. The theory security officials use is what they call the Trojan Horse. These properties look completely innocent: a corn mill, a wind farm, a golf course, a crypto mine. But inside? Potentially, long-range cameras tracking aircraft movements, antennas intercepting military radio traffic, equipment embedded with Chinese backdoors, drones launched from private land with plausible deniability. You don't need to breach a fence to spy on a military base. You just need to be close enough with the right equipment and a legitimate-looking business as cover. Washington is now playing catch-up. The Treasury Department expanded CFIUS authority to review land deals within 100 miles of 8 sensitive bases, including Grand Forks. Then in 2024, they expanded that to cover 227 military installations across 30 states. On the state level, Florida now bans Chinese nationals from buying any real property within 10 miles of a military base, with forfeiture provisions, meaning the state can seize the land. Arkansas has already used its new law to force a Chinese-owned seed company to give up 160 acres. North Dakota, Texas, Iowa, all tightening the screws. In early 2026, the USDA and the Department of Defense signed a formal agreement to share intelligence on foreign land purchases near sensitive sites, and the new Farm Bill gives CFIU special powers specifically targeting adversary-linked farmland purchases. The Department of Homeland Security launched Operation Red Sunset, an active investigation into Chinese-made Bitcoin mining hardware being used near critical U.S. facilities, looking for backdoors and hidden surveillance capabilities here. That's the bottom line. China doesn't need to hack a military base to gather intelligence on it. Sometimes, all you need is the right piece of land, a legitimate-sounding business, and patience. The U.S. is waking up to this, but the question is whether it's fast enough. Fufeng still owns land 12 miles from one of America's most sensitive Air Force bases. The full scale of Chinese land ownership near military installations is still being mapped. This is a new kind of national security threat, hiding in plain sight, disguised as farming, energy, or crypto. And it's only getting more attention. If you found this video eye-opening, subscribe. We cover the national security stories that don't always make the front page.